Hello guys, I'm Elfnet Gaming and Fidget Spinners and Television Repair. Yeah, okay, what I got here is a General Electric, about a 12-13 inch black and white analog television set on a very shaky camera. I say shaky camera because I don't have my normal camera here. And I don't have a stand for this one. This is my other kind of older digital camera. It's not all that great. This is a TV you don't have a remote control for on a very blurry and camera that does not want to focus well. I've already took the liberty of pulling off the back. The back is right here. When I got this thing, someone had robbed the cord for copper. They've also robbed the antenna off of it. There's the, well, it's not a diagram, but a placement guide for all the chips and transistors in the set. So, opened it, and when the power comes in, this camera really has issues focusing. See, it's not wanting to focus. Really sad. You know, modern technology, it doesn't want to focus. You know, and then I try to zoom in. There's nothing. But anyway, with the power, it has that interlocking thing from the old days of tube sets carried over to a solid state set, so that interlocking with the back, it would plug into this bi-pin right here. I just soldered on an AC cable, and I really don't like this digital camera. My normal camera is about 1,000 miles away. I left it in a friend of mine's vehicle, and they went off to a job, and there it is. So I'm stuck with this garbage, this Nikon, which is supposed to be a good camera, but I can't tell. It's ultimately garbage. Here's the antenna that was robbed off, the telescopic that would normally be on the back of the set. Typically, when these things are left in abandoned places, how I came across this was in an abandoned place. Excuse me. I had a friend of mine had bought from a tax sale. He bought it for the land. It had an abandoned trailer house that was falling to pieces that became property of the county because of a drug raid. And this TV set was in there. And typical with druggies, you end up with telescopic being gone because they use it to smoke their crack in. And that's pretty typical. So, seeing as the place was falling apart and exposed to the elements, you got some crust on it here, but that can all be cleaned up. Like I said, I soldered the wiring on, and the set does work. Fortunately, I don't have my signal source handy. Let's turn that off. So plug it into that isolated set power supply. This is a hot chassis set, and we'll turn them on. The volume is definitely weak. I'll bring it up. The volume potentiometer is off on this. Got some issues with the volume control down here. So you gotta pull it. Now, as it goes, put it in UHF, and there are no analog stations, so don't expect to see anything. but I could hook it up to a converter box to my cable service, and then through another converter to convert the digital cable coming out of that box to analog. And with a lot of picture stretching and running off the sides, I might be able to watch something on it. Anyway, I dug up this old transformer here. I gotta get in here and fix the volume control. Something a little gnarly is going on with that. I'll spray out this tuner. I've got that contact cleaner there for that. This thing, these gears, this UHF tuner there, VHF high and low band tuner there. Made in Mexico. I don't know what date is on this. Oh, here we go. There's a date on the tube. 7914. That'd be January 4th of 79, or it'd be April 1st of 79. So this is a 1979 General Electric solid state TV set. Missing a little suction cup on that. So I'm going to unplug it out of here and see about getting this board out and what I can do to try and fix the volume control on this thing. It's probably just dirty or needs to be disassembled. It's one of those combinations, and you can see it right back there. There's 3 of them. 10 whiskers, maybe. I don't know. I won't know until I get in there. What's surprising is the main filter capacitor, this big silver piece, is not gone bad on it. So I'm going to pull that apart, see if I can get it apart, and I'll get back on here and see what I find, let you guys know. Alright, I don't know how well you can see this, but in my screen it looks okay. The zoom seems to be wanting to work, but this is the module of volume, contrast, and bright. You can see it's one of these all-in-one 1970s and beyond or before type things. It's got the extensions on it. And what I'm going to do is pop this open, break it down, clean it up. These things can develop 10 whiskers. There's where it was on the circuit board. Right there. I don't think it has a 10 whisker problem. I just think it's loose and just dirty in there. So I'm going to clean it up, reinstall it, get it back together, clean some more of the dust off of this. I marked the picture to you where I took the yoke off, deflection yoke. So that's about all I can do for now. I'll get this apart and let you see the inside of that in a minute. Alright, as promised, I told you I'd let you see the inside. Well, here's the pad. Resistive pad. Runs around. You have a center tap ring and a resistive pad. Is this going to zoom in? Is it going to focus? No. It's a piece of crap. Don't buy a Cool Pix Nikon. It's a piece of crap. I mean, unless you're going to buy something like a P900 or something, $600 camera, then this, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this contact cleaner. Here's the wiper, the knob part, the wiper. It's got 2 little brass legs that wipe along this resistive contact pad, and that's what controls your volume up and down and etc. There's one of those extension It's very blurry because this camera is crap. Alright, I've got the volume stuff back together. Sounds much better. Don't expect me to get a picture on this because this is an analog set, of course. There's no analog stations in my area, and it's just not worth it to me at this time to go dig up a converter and all that. I did have a test pattern generator on it. It was fine. There is this, which is something with a horizontal. I'm not going to dig into this set too much. It's just a little 13-inch black and white thing that I'll probably never use, so that's not really gonna be bothered to fix that. That's not gonna bother me. So I guess I can get the back on it, get it back together, and it'll go on a shelf and it'll sit there. Don't know what else to do with it. I mean, normally things like this would end up in the trash, but I figured why not try to rejuvenate it and give it a little more life, even though it's not going to be used much. It's still in working condition now, except for that. I might revisit this later and work on that. It might correct itself. I don't know. It wasn't doing it before, so it might be something I did when I pulled this apart. I might have bumped something the wrong way. But in any event, I'm going to leave you guys to it. The General Electric, the model number is here, 12, it's a 12 X-ray Bravo 9104 Yankee. That's the model number. We determined that this was made in 79, probably 78. It's stamped for 79 as per the label on the tube back here. Half an amp, 27 watts, 120 volts, 60 hertz. Parts placement and what they do. I might go through these transistors and see these horizontal circuit, horizontal oscillator, buffer output, coupling deal, all that stuff, and see what happens there. If I can get that picture to fill out. But that's going to be on a later date, probably not on video, so I'll leave you guys to it. I'm Elfnet Gaming, and I will see you in the next video.